1966 wasn't just another year for the Mustang, it was the year Ford slipped secrets onto the streets. Beneath familiar sheet metal lurked high-revving small blocks, Shelby-tuned weapons, and rare trims that most people overlooked. These 7 forgotten classics reveal how the Mustang became far more dangerous and desirable than anyone imagined. Top 1. 1966 Ford Mustang GT 289, a code. By 1966, the Ford Mustang had already taken America by storm, but detractors mocked it as a stylish lightweight, more commuter than competitor. That perception began to shift with the arrival of the GT 289 A code, a package that gave the Mustang teeth. Suddenly, Ford's pony car wasn't just popular, it was credible. The GT equipment group could be ordered on coupes, convertibles, and fastbacks, but paired with the A code 289 4-barrel V8, it unlocked a different level of performance. The A code engine produced 225 horsepower and 305 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 4-speed manual or automatic. With performance gearing, 0 to 60 came in roughly 8 seconds, while quarter miles fell in the high 15s. For 1966, those were serious numbers, especially in a car marketed for style and affordability. On the outside, the GT package added functional fog lamps integrated into the grille, GT side stripes, unique badging, and chrome dual exhaust tips exiting through the rear valence. Buyers also received front disc brakes, a major improvement over the standard drums. Inside, the changes were subtle but purposeful. A 5-dial instrument cluster replaced the basic speedometer, while optional rally pack gauges mounted on the steering column brought tachometer and clock directly into the driver's line of sight. Bucket seats, wood grain appliques, and full carpeting completed the sporty feel. The twist is how rare true GTA codes actually are. Out of more than 600,000 Mustangs produced in 1966, estimates suggest fewer than 25,000 carried the GT package with the A-code engine. Survivors with documented authenticity are prized today. Collectors regularly pay $50,000 to $75,000 for restored examples, with Concours-level cars climbing toward $90,000 or more. What was once a modest factory option has become a golden ticket into Mustang royalty. The GT 289 A code reshaped the Mustang's reputation. It wasn't the fire-breathing K code, but it struck a balance between performance and drivability. It gave everyday buyers confidence on back roads, credibility at the drag strip, and refinement on the boulevard. This model proved the Mustang could evolve beyond image, carving the path for high-performance variants that followed. But for drivers who craved more than balance, who wanted raw speed and the thrill of a screaming small block, Ford had another secret ready. The 289 Hypo K code would transform the Mustang into a true street predator. Top 2, 1966, Ford Mustang 289 Hypo K code. If the GT 289 A code gave Mustang owners a taste of performance, the K code delivered the full course. Known as the Hypo 289, this engine option transformed Ford's pony car from a fashionable cruiser into a legitimate street predator. It was the Mustang that demanded respect from skeptics and rivals alike. At the heart of the K code was a 289 cubic inch V8 rated at 271 horsepower. But its numbers only told part of the story. This wasn't a warmed-over version of the standard V8, it was a purpose-built performance engine. A solid lifter camshaft allowed higher revs, heavy-duty pistons and rods ensured durability, and a dual-point distributor delivered precise ignition at redline. With a compression ratio of 10.5 to 1, the Hypo eagerly spun past 6,000 RPM, something few engines of its era dared attempt. Coupled with a 4-speed manual transmission, performance gearing, and beefed-up driveline components, the K code sprinted from 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds and covered the quarter mile in the mid-15s. Suspension upgrades included stiffer springs, larger front sway bar, and heavy-duty shocks, all designed to match the engine's aggression. Visually, the K code offered almost no giveaways, just a discreet high-performance 289 fender badge. Buyers could order the K code in any body-style coupe, convertible, or fastback, and with interior trims ranging from Spartan vinyl to upscale pony packages. To the untrained eye, it looked like any other Mustang, but under the skin, it was engineered for battle. Here's the twist. In 1966, Ford built over 600,000 Mustangs, but only about 5,000, 469, were K codes. That rarity makes them one of the most collectible non-Shelby Mustangs today. Documented K codes regularly bring $80,000 to $120,000 at auction, with concourse quality examples easily topping $150,000. For a $276.00 factory upgrade in 1966, the return on investment is staggering, a secret that only hindsight reveals. The K-Code's impact was profound. It silenced critics who dismissed the Mustang as all style and no substance. More importantly, it provided the engineering foundation for Carroll Shelby's GT350, the car that would cement Mustang's racing legacy. For enthusiasts and collectors, the Hypo 289 represents the moment when the Mustang crossed from fashion statement to serious performance machine. But not every Mustang secret was hidden under the hood. In 1966, Ford offered a body style that carried its own mystique, the Fastback 2+2, combining sleek design and practicality in ways that turned heads then and still captivate collectors today. 1966, Ford Mustang Fastback 2+2 289. If the Coupe was the volume seller and the Convertible the style icon, the 1966 Mustang Fastback 2+2 was the shape that captured enthusiasts' imaginations. With its sleek roofline, fold-down rear seat, and athletic stance, the Fastback wasn't just another Mustang, it was the one that hinted at racing pedigree. Introduced a year earlier, the Fastback body style gave Mustang a profile that looked at home on road courses as much as on Main Street. In 1966, it could be ordered with the 289 cubic inch V8 in various tunes, from the mild 200 horsepower 2-barrel to the stronger 225 horsepower A-Code 4-barrel, and even the fearsome 271 horsepower K-Code High Code. With the right gearing and a 4-speed manual, performance was more than respectable. 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds with the A-Code, and closer to 7 flat with the Hypo K-Code. Quarter miles fell in the mid-15s, ensuring the Fastback could hold its own against contemporary muscle rivals. Inside, the 2+2 designation came from its innovative fold-down rear seat. This feature allowed the Fastback to blend practicality with performance, transforming rear seating into extra cargo space when needed. Buyers could also opt for the Pony interior package, rally pack gauges, and wood grain trim, elevating the Fastback's cabin beyond simple function. On the outside, the roofline flowed seamlessly into the trunk, giving the Mustang a profile that many argue was the most attractive of all early models. The twist is that while more than 77,000 Fastbacks were built in 1966, relatively few survive today in unmodified, well-documented condition. Collectors chase factory-correct examples, especially those with K-Code engines and GT equipment groups. At auctions, average Fastbacks with standard 289s can command $45,000 to $65,000, while high-spec, numbers-matching K-Code Fastbacks routinely top $100,000. What was once just another body style has become one of the most sought-after Mustangs by many millionaires. At various times, Mustang variant. The Fastback 2+2 gave the Mustang a shape that appealed to enthusiasts seeking more than transportation. It was the car that bridged street style with racing intent, and its legacy can be seen in every Mustang Fastback that followed. Today, it symbolizes the moment when Ford realized design could be as powerful a weapon as horsepower. But style wasn't limited to coupes and Fastbacks. In 1966, the Convertible carried its own allure, combining open-air freedom with Mustang performance, creating a classic that collectors continue to treasure. Top 4, 1966 Ford Mustang Convertible 289. Few cars capture the carefree spirit of the 1960s like the Mustang Convertible. By 1966, it had become the ultimate symbol of open-air freedom. Yet, when paired with Ford's 289 V8, the drop top wasn't just about looks, it offered performance that made rivals nervous while giving drivers the wind-in-the-hair thrill they craved. The 1966 Mustang Convertible could be ordered with a wide range of engines, but the 289 cubic inch V8 gave it the perfect blend of power and drivability. Buyers had choices: the 200 horsepower 2-barrel, the 225 horsepower A-Code 4-barrel, or the high-revving 271 horsepower K-Code Hypo, with the latter 0 to 60 times dropped to around 7 seconds, and quarter miles could be run in the mid-15 seconds, astonishing for a convertible of its era. The convertible came standard with reinforced underbody bracing, ensuring rigidity even without a fixed roof. A power-folding top was optional, allowing quick transformation from coupe-like enclosure to open cruiser. Inside, buyers could spec luxury options like the Pony interior package with embossed seatbacks, wood-grain trim and rally-pack tachometer and clock. Outside, chrome accents, styled steel wheels and optional GT stripes made it look every bit as sporty as its coupe and fastback sibling. Here's the twist. Despite being popular when new, surviving original 289-powered convertibles are far scarcer than coupes. Out of more than 56,000 Mustang convertibles built in 1966, only a fraction carried the high-performance K-code engine. Today, collectors pay steep premiums for documented 289 cars, especially high-po K-codes. Average examples bring $55,000 to $75,000, while rare Concours-level K-code convertibles can exceed $150,000. What was once a sunny day cruiser has become a serious six-figure investment. The 1966 Mustang convertible with a 289 wasn't just a fashion statement, it proved Ford could deliver open-air fun without sacrificing muscle. It allowed Mustang buyers to enjoy both performance and leisure, broadening the car's appeal and solidifying its status as the quintessential American convertible of the decade. For collectors today, it represents an irresistible combination of freedom, performance, and nostalgia. But not all 1966 Mustangs flexed V8 muscle. One of the most overlooked secrets lay in the entry-level coupe powered by the humble 200 cubic inch inline-6 car that sold in huge numbers, yet now intrigues collectors for its simplicity and rarity in original form. Top 5 1966 Ford Mustang Coupe 200 inline-6. When people think of classic Mustangs, they picture roaring V8s and tighter shredding quarter miles. But in 1966, the most common Mustang wasn't a V8 at all. It was the six-cylinder coupe. With its 200 cubic inch inline-6, this unassuming car became the secret backbone of Mustang sales. And today, collectors chase it for entirely different reasons. The base coupe accounted for the lion's share of Mustang production in 1966. Under the hood, the 200 inline-6 produced 120 horsepower and 190 lb-ft of torque. Paired with a 3-speed manual or optional C4 automatic, performance was modest. 0 to 60 in about 13 seconds, quarter miles in the low 19s. Hardly drag strip material, but that wasn't the point. The inline-6 offered affordability, simplicity, and respectable fuel economy, giving the Mustang mass-market appeal. The coupe's styling remained sharp. Long hood, short deck proportions, and the iconic galloping horse grille made even the six-cylinder version look like a sports car. Buyers could dress it up with deluxe interiors, styled steel wheels, or even the Pony interior package. But most left the factory with basic vinyl seats, simple trim, and hubcaps. The result was a car accessible to everyday Americans while still carrying the Mustang's aura of cool. The twist is that while hundreds of thousands were built, few six-cylinder coupes survive today in original condition. Most were driven hard, modified, or scrapped when V8 fever swept the collector world. Ironically, their very ubiquity made them disposable. Now, authentic, numbers-matching 200 inline-6 coupes are rare and increasingly valuable. Restored examples average $25,000 to $35,000, while highly original survivors with factory documentation can climb toward $50,000. Collectors recognize them as essential pieces of Mustang history, proof that not every classic had to be a fire breather to matter. The 200 inline-6 coupe reminds us that the Mustang wasn't just a performance car, it was a cultural phenomenon. It allowed Ford to sell style and identity at a price nearly anyone could afford, ensuring the Mustang's dominance. Today, collectors value these cars as time capsules, symbols of how Ford's smallest engine helped build the biggest automotive legend of the 1960s. But while the six-cylinder coupe carried Mustang sales, Shelby was busy turning the platform into a street-bred weapon. In 1966, the GT350 proved that racing technology could be refined just enough for public roads, ushering in one of the most famous Shelbys ever. Top 6. 1966 Shelby GT350 Street. By 1966, Carroll Shelby had already turned the Mustang into a race-winning machine with the brutal GT350R, but not every buyer wanted a track-only beast. The 1966 Shelby GT350 street model blended competition engineering with enough refinement to drive daily. It was still ferocious, but it carried a sharper suit. Built at Shelby American's facility in Los Angeles, about 2,378 GT350s were produced in 1966, far more than the scarce 1965 run. Under the hood remained Ford's 289 cubic inch K-code Hypo V8, now tuned to 306 horsepower, with a Holley 4-barrel carburetor and aluminum intake. With a 4-speed manual, 0 to 60 came in 6.5 seconds, while the quarter mile was dispatched in the mid-14s. The car's lighter weight and aggressive suspension made it handle unlike any other Mustang of its day. Externally, the 1966 version gained more color options beyond Wimbledon white, including sapphire blue, ivy green, and raven black. Le Mans stripes became popular, though still technically optional. Functional scoops, side-exit exhausts, and Kragar or Magnum 500 wheels gave the GT350 a more mature but still aggressive look. Inside, Shelby refined things slightly compared to the Spartan 1965S. A rear seat returned as an option, and some models gained fold-down units for practicality. Wood-rimmed steering wheels, Cobra tachometers, and Shelby badging completed the cabin. It was still purposeful, but more livable for enthusiasts who wanted both performance and occasional comfort. The twist is that while the 1966 GT350 was produced in higher numbers, genuine originals are fiercely collectible. Well-documented examples today command $180,000 to $250,000, while Concours quality cars can reach well over $300,000. For a car that cost around $4,500 new, its escalation into six-figure territory shows how deeply collectors revere Shelby's touch. The 1966 GT350 struck a balance. It kept Shelby's racing spirit alive while broadening appeal beyond hardcore racers. It established the Shelby Mustang as a desirable street performance brand in its own right, rather than a one-year experiment. Its value today reflects not just rarity, but its role in expanding the Mustang's identity into legend. Yet Shelby's vision didn't stop with private buyers. In 1966, a unique partnership with Hertz put GT350s into the hands of everyday renters, creating one of the wildest stories in Mustang history. Pop 7, 1966, Shelby GT350H Hertz, rent a racer. What if you could rent a race car for the weekend? In 1966, that wasn't a fantasy, it was reality. Thanks to a bold partnership between Shelby American and Hertz, ordinary drivers could walk into an airport rental counter and leave with a Shelby GT350. The result became legend, the GT350H. Hertz ordered roughly 1,001 GT350s from Shelby American as part of its Rent a Racer program. Most wore the now iconic black paint with gold Le Mans stripes, though a few appeared in blue, red, green, or white. Mechanically, the GT350H shared its DNA with the street GT350, powered by a 289 cubic inch Hypo V8 producing 306 horsepower. Coupled with a 4-speed manual, or, more commonly, an automatic, these cars could sprint to 60 in 6.5 seconds and run the quarter mile in the mid-14s serious numbers for something you could drive straight from a rental lot. Inside, the GT350H was pure Shelby, wood-rimmed steering wheel, Cobra tachometer, sport bucket seats, and Shelby badging. Outside, the gold stripes and Hertz emblems made it one of the most striking Mustangs ever produced. Hertz customers loved the thrill, but the cars quickly earned a reputation for being returned with bald tires, swapped engines, or worse, borrowed for illegal drag races. The twist is that what began as a marketing stunt has become one of the most collectible Shelbys ever. Of the 1,001 produced, far fewer survive intact today. Well-restored GT350H command $200,000 to $275,000 at auction, with pristine examples pushing past $300,000. The very fact that these cars were once daily rentals, abused by amateurs, makes surviving originals all the more remarkable and all the more valuable. The GT350H blurred the line between fantasy and reality. It let ordinary drivers experience Shelby performance firsthand, cementing the Mustang's reputation as the people's sports car. It also proved that marketing stunts could create legends. For collectors, owning a GT350H isn't just about horsepower, it's about possessing one of the most outrageous stories in Mustang history. The story of the GT350H closes with irony. Cars once rented by the day now sell for prices rivaling Ferraris. From disposable weekend toys to cherished six-figure collectibles, the Rent-A-Racer remains proof that sometimes the wildest ideas create the most enduring legends. From factory GT packages to Shelby-tuned icons, these 7 Mustangs from 1966 revealed secrets hidden beneath chrome and stripes. Each model carried its own story, performance, rarity, or sheer audacity. Which Mustang surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to fuel your passion with more legends on Muscle Cars Revolution.